Tensions flaring in Asia over China's plans for Taiwan, and Japan's new prime minister says it could threaten her country's very survival. The CCP is not quiet about its plans to annex Taiwan and says that Japan will pay a painful price if they step out of line, making the U.S.-Japanese alliance crucial. The president is working to bring down the temperature, but the rhetoric is only getting sharper. Brian, we were talking about this, I want to say last week, but I think it might have just been before the holiday. Even though it
Felt
feels
like
last
another week. I don't know.
And, you know, I think Trump is trying to tamp this down on all sides. That's what it seems to me.
Yeah.
You know.
I was thinking about that because you use the word temperature, right? Take down temperature. How much do you want to take down the temperature on that one? You know, like Japan is stepping up and saying we're not just going to cede the entire Eastern Hemisphere to China. We want to be a player here. And so they're doing things. So I think doing things that are challenging China, putting China on notice. You can't just do what you want in this hemisphere. And I kind of like that. I mean, China keeps saying we're the defenders of the post-World War II order. That's the argument they're making about Taiwan and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, well, what order are they talking about? Are they talking about the order where every other country basically gave up on national defense and retreated and China could do what it wanted, where it wanted? Because I don't like that order. I don't think that's the order we want. So I sort of see Trump, yes, he's sort of tamping down a little bit, but I also think he's sort of signaling to Japan, thank you for being in the East and being watching what's going on and being vocal and keeping China in check. And maybe more of our allies around the globe, and Europe's doing this a little bit, should get on the ball and reassert themselves as being willing to defend freedom in the world and not let communism be the prevailing factor in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Rephrase. I agree with you. I think what I meant was more, he doesn't want to see conflict.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily sure that
hot conflict.
Yes.
Yes.
He could like what Japan is doing. He's going to see President Xi. He doesn't want China making any moves.
Right.
And so, you know, you think about his presidency versus Joe Biden's presidency. You think about how President Xi looks at President Trump as an American leader. It's completely different. I would almost bet money, and I'm sure you probably can do this on the betting markets or something.
Definitely nowadays.
I would bet money to say if there is a China-Taiwan conflict, it's not going to be under his watch.
Under President Trump's watch.
No way.
Well, I just hope that there's not a conflict. And I think hopefully, Brian, to your point, standing by our allies in the region, it is Japan, will defer that conflict. We'll prompt China not to act against Taiwan. And look, it's right in Japan's back door as well. So they have an actual real physical threat potentially from an aggressive China. So look, it's about who are your friends and who are your enemies. Historically, Japan's always been our enemy. China, not so much.
Thoughts? I mean, that's such an important point because, one, I think this is a good strategic position for the U.S. to be in. Trump is working with Japan. Xi is calling Trump. That is a huge sign in terms of the leverage that we have. So to your point, that it is good. The position that we're in is favorable to have both of these nations looking at us. And to Jonathan's point, this is not just posturing. It's very strategic for Japan. Taiwan is essential. All of their maritime trade passes by Taiwan. If China controls Taiwan, this is an issue for their oil imports, trade routes, economic future. So Japan has a real stake in Taiwan. But the fact that Trump can do both of these things, I think, is good. And you look at the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Trump has come in and been this great peacemaker. One of the hardest conflicts for him to tackle during this presidency has been Ukraine and Russia. And that was a war that started under the last president. So I think if we can avoid this, and I think you could make the argument that Russia would not have invaded Ukraine under a President Trump. So hopefully we see that kind of play out here. But it's about playing both sides, making sure that Japan still has its autonomy in this space, but having China on the phone while we're dealing with soybeans and tariffs, it's not a bad thing.
Brian, I guess I'll take issue a little bit with what you said in terms of the same way with Putin, and I'd throw Xi in that category. You want to give them like a humble, nice way to retreat without embarrassing themselves. If saving face is their goal, I don't want to like blow up the embarrassment on the world stage. I kind of want to give them like an easy way to wave the white flag. So if them like talking about Taiwan, but they don't do anything. And I agree, they can't do anything, and if they do, all hell breaks loose. But if allowing them to sort of like talk the game gives Xi a nice way to like be at home in China and say like, yeah, I'm tough and strong, when the rest of us all know that that's just a nice way for him to save face on the world stage, is that not a better option than like blowing up and having World War III,
Well,
and embarrassing
I think so.
him at home?
For sure.
Yeah, but I don't think she's just talking about Taiwan.
Yeah, he wants it.
Wants Taiwan.
But how long has he been talking about this and he hasn't? And again, I want to be very careful. I know that just because you haven't done it in the past doesn't mean you won't do it in the future. But like, he talks the big game. We kind of all know that. And like, let him talk a big game so that he can like feel super strong at home and macho. And we all know that in reality, that will never
Well,
happen.
I think Trump is letting him talk a big game. I mean, he was on the phone for an hour with Xi. Half of it was about Taiwan, and Trump let him say what he wanted. Trump didn't respond. He didn't say we're giving up on Taiwan. But I mean, whatever is happening in the Eastern Hemisphere has to actually outlast Trump. Like, someday we're not going to have President Trump. We're going to have I always say it, we're going to have a President Gavin Newsom or something like that. When that day comes, I hope Japan is smart enough to have leaders who are tough enough to stand their ground in the East when the American president for a moment can't, and you don't want China to get the upper hand. To me, this is about like securing an order that lasts beyond the Trump administration.
Well, you would hope that just as Israel has deterred Islamist aggression and violence in the Middle East, perhaps Japan, out of its own self-interest, if nothing else, could do that in the Southeast China Seas. Because Taiwan is a real threat. Brian, and I agree with you. I don't think they're just talking. I think they're playing the long game, as China often does. But they've seen the success, frankly, that Russia's had in acquiring territory, and think, well, why not? We could get a little bit of Taiwan and restore the greatness of China.
And there's so many valuable things in Taiwan. Just even having access.
Chips.
Yeah.
Chips.
In terms of industry, an incredible piece in the whole puzzle. So.